All right, another big topic in this chapter is ethnicity. Ethnicity can be defined as a dimension of culture based on cultural heritage, national characteristics, race, and religion. So, yeah, that's pretty straightforward. And it discusses a little bit about how diversity today is increasing. So, immigration. It talks about how most of the immigrants, especially in the United States, are minorities who are coming in, and there's some poverty issues and just things like that arise because of this, and there's they suffer from prejudice sometimes and discrimination. So yeah. And this chapter actually dives further into ethnicity issues, and just a brief summary of it are, most minorities live in poverty, they suffer from prejudice and discrimination. It doesn't matter of their socioeconomic class, they still suffer from these things. There's stress on adolescents. So yeah, it's not really good issues. It's once again pretty straightforward, but yeah. All right. So on figure 12.5, it's actually pretty interesting to me. I find it. It says some of the its type of racial hassles and the percent of adolescents who reported these. And some of these I actually find a little discouraging, but one of the biggest ones was being accused of something or being treated suspiciously. 71% of adolescents reported that they had that. So another big one too was being treated as if they were stupid or being talked down to, which 70.7 adolescents reported that they had that hassle within the past year. And I'm not surprised that this is going on, but it's it doesn't make me feel any better. So yeah. Also, it talks about prejudice, which happens, and prejudice can be defined as an unjust negative attitude towards an individual because of the individual's membership in a group. So that's being colored or being Jewish or just things like that. Those are just some examples. Media. This chapter, I find this stuff on the media really interesting. So yeah, it's kind of nice. This chapter goes into media use, and what media is it's like TV, it's radio, it's any exposure, newspapers. There's a lot of media that everyone is exposed to, especially with the internet becoming more and more popular. So yeah, so on figure 12.6, it shows time spent on TV content, and it just shows all these things, and it shows the total media exposure for someone 15 to 18 years old is 11 hours and 23 minutes. So, and that's in a typical day, which is kind of scary. And it says how much hours people spend on video games and all these things, and total media use averages around, I'd like to say, 7.5 hours a day. So that's pretty scary. I know I spend more than that, which I probably shouldn't, but once again, television, that's a big subpoint, and it goes into TV violence, TV and sex, TV and achievement. I'll just go into those in a second, but first it says, and I found this really once again a little disturbing, but probably I'm above this number, but this textbook said that the time an average American student graduates from high school, they spend 20,000 hours watching TV. 20,000 hours. So, that's a lot. So TV and violence. It talks about, how, violence in TV shows and kids watching it, can it increase? That's kind of what it's trying to find out. But some studies show that kids who are watching violent cartoons, and they compared it to kids who weren't watching violent cartoons, in their just casual play, the kids who did watch violent show would show more aggressive behaviors in their play, choking, kicking, and just things of that nature. Television and sex. It says that adolescents who watch sexual TV shows initiate sexual acts sooner than those who don't, which isn't really surprising, but yeah. TV and achievement. Once again, this says it talks a little bit about using TV for a reward and things like that, and yeah, most often it says that TV is has negative effects on people, that they get bored of reading, and there's just more slothing, and there's no really positive effects at an adolescent level of watching TV. But whereas at the younger level, watching stimulating TVs, and the examples listed here are Sesame Street and Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, it actually had higher grades and a positive effect on little kids.